we are going to pull out some of her things. I may leave a little bit of the foliage in there if it looks okay, but for the majority, we're going to take it out. So I'm just going to pull it apart. I do like the way this is mounded in the front, so I am going to try to replicate that. I do like the look of this mounded shape that they've done here. This is a wreath that we did not personally put together. She just brought it to us and asked us to fix it, so that's what we're going to do. So I'm just going to take and pull out. I actually kind of like that. I don't know that I like the white, but I don't mind the other. I'm going to pull out the things that are in here. And we are going to freshen it up. Yeah, some of the things that were in here are just falling apart, and they're dusty and old, so I'm just going to throw them away.
We have lots of hellos.
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. I hope you are all doing well today. This one I think has been wired on, so I'm just going to take my wire snips, and I'm going to cut it loose. Out of there. It's so funny how glue holds really tight to some things and then other things just come right out. There it goes.
Deanna Nolan on YouTube says, "Hooray, this is the first time I've been able to catch you live. Your videos are such a blessing."
Oh, I'm so glad you're here, friend. Thank you for watching. All right. I don't know that I love all of that greenery. So I'm just pulling all the old blooms out, saving anything that I think might work. I don't know if I should leave that base of greenery. Okay, I'm going to leave it. If I decide that I don't like it, I will pull it out. So it's just a base of greenery. It almost reminds me of a little bit of a grapevine. So I'm going to leave it right now. I'm just taking my hands and I'm just making sure that it's kind of cleaned up a little bit. Taking anything out that doesn't look great. All right. Okay, there's the base of grapevine that was in it. So I'm going to leave that for right now. Again, if I decide like that leaf doesn't look great, pull him right out. Okay, so there is just her base that she's already had in there. Again, it's just a grapevine wreath, and then it has a base of greenery on there. Next, we are going to come in with a little bit of our greenery. So this is a bead grass. It's a little bush that we have here at the shop. I'm just going to take it and cut it into smaller pieces. These are just wire snips that I picked up from the hardware store that are wonderful. If you need some really good wire snips, these are Cobalt brand, and I have found them to be wonderful. All right. So I cut off several pieces, and then I left a couple of pieces just on the longer stem, so I can maybe make that mounded like she had it before. I'm just going to leave that stem on there. I'm dipping it in some glue. So I have a hot glue pan over here. So this is just, it's hard to see, I just unplugged it, but it's just a regular hot glue pan. You can pick this up from your local craft store, or you can order it online very easily.
Loretta Green on YouTube says, hello, can't wait to see the finished product. You are an amazing florist. Thank you for sharing your talent.
Oh, you are too kind. Thank you, friend. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for watching. All right, let's get this glue hot. It wasn't hot enough. All right, I dipped it in glue, and I'm just going to press it right down in the center there. Okay, just kind of build it up right there in the center. And then I'm going to take my smaller pieces, and I'm kind of fluffing them up. I'm dipping them in my glue.
Chris Fry asks, how long are those bushes? I'm looking at greenery called ES Essentials, and they aren't taking new customers until December because they are so busy.
Oh, wow. I tell you who else to check out is try TMI Gifts because I know that they carry some of this greenery, and it's from the same company, but it's just they're selling it retail, and it's not terribly expensive. But check with them, TMI Gifts, and they have lots of fun stuff at their online too. So I'm just taking these pieces, I'm just cutting them into, I just cut them off, and I'm just tucking those right in along that base, dipping each stem in glue.
Candace on TikTok said, I like it.
Oh, thank you, friend. So glad you're here. How are you?
Chris Fry says, thank you.
Of course. Okay, so I put a little bit of greenery in that base. Next, we're going to come in with some flowers. So I have these small bushes that come with mixed greenery. They have some berries. They have some baby's breath. Anyway, I am going to take them apart. Pulling it, just cutting those apart, and it's got some sunflowers. I have two of these that I'm going to use.
Do we have the oval grapevine wreaths?
I don't know. We'll have to check. This one is not ours. It was brought to us, but I don't believe I have any available right now, but we can certainly check.
Miss Shelley Easley says, hi, my beautiful friends. Need prayers as we flooded our house, and it is a big problem. We need to move out during repairs.
Oh, Shelley, we will certainly pray. I'm so sorry to hear that. Okay. I just cut them apart. We're going to take some of this pretty greenery eucalyptus. It's just a spiral or a baby blue eucalyptus. We're going to tuck some of that in. So I'm taking and trimming up that stem with my snips, dipping it in that glue. Now when you work with that hot glue, make sure that your glue is about the consistency of honey. You don't want it too much thinner than that, because it'll drip. So if you have a hot glue pan that does not have the temperature gauge on there, the temperature, it really just needs to be about the consistency of honey. So I'm just dipping that stem right down into that glue. I'm just tucking those right into our wreath just to give it some fun whimsy. And then I have, this is supposed to be a seeded eucalyptus and another little type of eucalyptus. Now I like to put my greenery base in first, but really there's no right or wrong. You can do it however you want to. If you want to stick your flowers and then add your greenery, you can absolutely do that.
Denise says, hello from Michigan. Your videos are so helpful and you're truly a talented person.
Oh, thanks, Denise. I'm so glad you're here with us. So I pulled off one of those little leaves, so I'm going to dip it in glue and put it back on.
Chris Fry asks, did you say that TMI Gifts are retail / not wholesale?
I believe that I'm not sure, Chris. Reach out to them. Send them a message. You can even call them on the phone. Now, they sound like me, just in case you were wondering. They are located in North Mississippi, but they sound a lot like me. But reach out to them and just tell them that you're a florist and ask if they do wholesale. I think they'll give you like some percentage off. It's not a lot, but it's some percentage off, I believe. So just talk to them and be sure to tell them you have a tax ID number. But they're really good prices for even retail. I mean, I've always been very pleased with their product and their prices. They're really good prices. Okay, so I have my mixed greenery in there. That's all just glued in. Next, we're going to come in with our sunflowers. We have those two pretty sunflowers, just happy little suns. So I'm going to take and cut that stem shorter, dip it in glue. Now you can take and zip tie all these pieces down into this wreath if you don't like to really use glue. If you don't have a glue pan, you do not have to have a glue pan necessarily. But I find a glue pan really works so much better than a hot glue gun, because a glue gun, number one, blisters so badly. But number two, it just takes time. It's just a little more time consuming. So I have this pretty little mixed bush. I'm going to pull out that pampas. It's that pretty little mixed bush that has some autumn mums. It has some pinky toned hydrangea, some little roses. But we're going to just take this and cut it apart. Some of them are apart.
Miss Lenice Gentry Carter asks if there is a temperature gauge on the glue pan, what temperature setting is best?
So mine is on about 275. But I don't go much higher than 275 because it'll drip. It'll be too hot, and it drips so easily. Oh, my nose is itching. It always does every time I get on a video. So I'm going to take and cut this apart. These are just some flowers that we just had in our stash in the back. So I'm just taking and dipping each stem right down into that glue and pressing it right into that grapevine.
Carl Garrison says, good luck, Micah. Y'all be careful.
Thank you, friend. Thank you. This had some little berries on it, so I'm just going to tuck those berries in.
Dale Bates says, hello from Monticello, Arkansas. If you soak your round grapevine wreath in water, then you can bend it into an oval shape. Before retirement, I was a floral designer for 48 years. I love your design.
That is fantastic. Thank you for letting us know that. Thank you so very much. Okay, this was one of the Astros. This is such a realistic faux Astro. I've never seen one so realistic, but I think it'll really look great if we pull it in there with those sunflowers. That has a very stiff wire. There we go. I think I'm going to come over to my left. Dip it in that glue. Did we go dark already?
No, the battery died.
I'm sorry guys for the technical difficulties. We always have technical difficulties with this camera. We're gonna have to get a new camera. Does anybody have any suggestions for a new camera? For some reason, this camera, so I don't love all the things that are in this bush, but I love some of it. So I'm gonna pull out some of these pods. I'm not going to use all this white, but I do like these little pods, so I'm gonna pull those out. These are some things that were left in her wreath, that were in this wreath, and so I'm just gonna take them and cut them out and use what I can. Tell you what would be nice is if I paint them yellow, then they kind of look like billy balls. I think I'll do that. Give me just a second. I'm going to go grab some floral paint and I'm going to paint these pods yellow. So anytime you are freshening up a wreath, don't hesitate to freshen it up with some paint. This is actually flower paint. It's made specifically for fresh flowers. You can use it on other things. But I'm just gonna take it and I'm going to pop that little pod yellow. So it kind of looks a little more like a billy ball versus just a white pod. And I think it's going to pull more of an autumn. I do love that it has these leaves that are kind of, I don't know, they almost look like a geranium leaf. But anyway, they've got some leaves that are kind of a dark color or a begonia color maybe. And I'm going to tuck that in, and I love that it kind of pulls that autumn tone.
On TikTok, Kat Huffman says, love the colors you're using.
Thank you friend, so glad you're here.
Candace says, good idea. And Kimberly Harper, thank you for the follow on TikTok.
Yeah, always freshen up what you have. Don't feel like just because it's older that you can't freshen it up and use it again this year. It is not hurting a thing to reuse what you have. It saves a little money, but just kind of freshen it up. Give it a new life by giving it some color maybe. And you could have painted these pods really any color. I just thought that they remind me so much of Crispidia or Billy Balls that they worked perfect as yellow.
Carmen asks, how's your dad doing?
My daddy's doing really good, actually. I called him this morning and asked him if he wanted to go to watch Micah play. He said not today, but he may go on Friday. But he's really doing pretty good. Thank you for asking. Thank you. Callie is doing pretty good. You know, Callie had surgery last week, and she had her gallbladder out, so she is still out. She didn't come to work today. I said, girl, you take as much time as you need. Don't rush. But she's thinking she's going to come back maybe tomorrow. But she's doing good. We miss her. All right, these are a little more bronze, some bronze colors. So I'm going to take and cut those apart. We're going to tuck a little bronze in here.
Miss Anya Hutchinson asks how you're doing.
I'm good, friend. Thank you for asking. I'm doing really well. Okay, I love all those pretty bronze colors. So I am going to add a few blooms up here because she originally had some blooms up there. So I'm just going to take and dip that stem right down into that glue. Press that in. Okay, I told you that I did not like these blooms, and a lot of it is because they're white, but I'm going to take them and I'm going to paint those yellow and see if we like those enough to reuse those.
Miss Marianne says she's continuing to pray for Callie's healing.
Thank you, Miss Marianne. Thank you, thank you.
Miss Anya says it's good news about your dad and Callie.
Thank you, friend. Yes, they are doing good.
Miss Margaret Smith says hello from Tylertown. I love this.
Thank you, Miss Margaret. Thank you, thank you. Look, we're going to just take and paint. Now, with silk flowers, you don't have to have flower paint. Honestly, I would not use flower paint, but that's what I had on hand. Go to your local hardware store and just buy a can of spray paint. It's not going to hurt those flowers at all because, of course, they're faux. So don't hesitate. I just popped it with a little bit of yellow. Don't hesitate to use paint and freshen up those blooms. Straightening up those stems. If you have blooms that are kind of wrinkled or kind of in a mess, use your steamer or even a warm blow dryer and you can freshen up those leaves, especially if they've kind of been squashed. Take that blow dryer or that steamer, like a clothing steamer, and you can steam those blooms and freshen those up. I like the yellow in this, but of course I'm a little partial to the color yellow. We're going to take some of those bronze and pop those in. So you can see I am just layering these blooms right into this arrangement. I just took some odds and ends and we're putting them together to make a pretty fall arrangement with just different mixed and matched blooms. I love this mom. Now what you see me pulling off is it had some pampas plumes in with them, and so the pampas plumes kind of shed, so I was just pulling off all those little shed pieces. All right, and then there were a few fun little berries tucked in. Just kind of some fun little red berries we're going to tuck in and give it some movement. Now if you want to add ribbon to your wreath, you absolutely can. This wreath did not originally have ribbon. Was she interested in ribbon yesterday, Victoria, or did she care?
She didn't say, and I didn't even think to ask.
So I don't know that I'm going to put ribbon.
Christina Nolan says that made me giggle. My granny would bring home her old faded arrangements from the cemetery and give the flowers a little refresh with spray paint.
But I mean, it really does work. You know, things are not as inexpensive as they once were, and so it really does work. Especially, I don't know that I like that bright orange. I think I'm going to leave that out. I'm going to leave it kind of muted, I think. I did pull some of this purple. I don't know that I even want the purple. I think I don't. Do you, Victoria? We need another focal flower in there. I think our focal flowers are a little small. So I would like one more focal flower, one or two. I got these in our stash of silk flowers. And so these have some pretty bronze colored dahlias. So I think we may add some of these. Pretty bronze colored, a little bit orange, but not quite as orange as those. So I'm going to use these. I've got some stems. So this is a box, I don't even know, I think we might have ordered it on Amazon, but it's just a box of faux blooms, kind of in autumn tones, oranges and bronze. So I'm going to take my stem, I'm going to dip it in glue, and then I'm going to put that bloom right onto that stem.
Miss Anya says the bow is not needed, it looks lovely.
Thank you, friend. Thank you, thank you.
Miss Anya, we're planning. The wedding planning is coming, and we're just in the process. But
slowly but surely, right, Victoria?
mm-hmm.
Take that stem, dip it in that glue. I want one more sunflower. I'm going to grab another one of those sunflower bushes. And take that. And so you just keep going until you're happy. Especially if it's yours, you keep going until you're happy. One more sunflower. I think we need one more. Right there. So again, wreaths take a little bit of time to me. It's just kind of layering and figuring out exactly where you want things and how you want them. That's better. I think that's better. I think he gets a little lost down there in the bottom. So I'm going to pull him out. I'm going to move him just a little bit. Always remember when working with faux flowers, you can pull that out and move him. It's not going to mess anything up. If you don't like its placement, pull that out and move it. I don't know that I like that either.
Miss Amy says the bronze is perfect.
Thank you.
Miss Lanice asks, does Owen finish his master's degree in May? He does. He does. He will. He will finish that in May. And then we get married. So,
and then you get married.
It'll be a busy month.
And you live happily ever after. That's better.
Miss Loretta Green asks, what do you prefer, a wreath or a vase when building an arrangement?
Oh gosh, I think it's really just a different medium. It just depends on what exactly I envision. I mean, for every day, I would way prefer a vase. But I enjoy wreaths. Robbie, do you need us? So you can see it's really just layering technique. I'm just adding until I'm happy. And I'm just about finished.
Miss Patty says perfect. It's perfect.
Thank you.
Miss Doretha says it's beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you.
She also says, hello, friend from Huntsville, Alabama.
Hello, friend. How are you?
Cam says hi.
Hey Cam, how are you?
Kathy says, I just came on. This is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Loretta Green says, I'm sitting here hand quilting. Oh, I'm sitting here. Hand quilting is my new thing that I'm trying to learn, and I'm watching you create a beautiful wreath. I guess you could say I'm multitasking.
That's right. That's right. Oh, girl, I would love to see some of your beautiful creations with your hand quilting. I think that would be so much fun. I don't know. It's a lot of work, though. I don't know if I want to do my downtime with so much work. All right, I'm calling it finished. Now, again, all I did was just layer, layer, layer. I just added more and more. Honestly, I think we need a little more color up there, don't we? Do y'all think? That's looking a little bronze compared to down here. We need a pop of yellow up there. So I am going to take something and maybe paint it yellow. Here's some baby's breath that came in a bush. I mean in that sunflower bush. So I'm going to take it and pop a little more yellow up there. But you keep adding and layering until you're happy. And I really, honestly, I like when people bring me in their designs or something that someone else has made, because sometimes I don't even think to design it that way. So it's always nice to be able to pull apart somebody else's design that's, needs some freshening up, because then I kind of get a new vision or a new idea. And I like that. I think that's kind of fun.
Cam says yes, more yellow on top.
Kind of lightens it up, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Miss Nelda Edwards says it's beautiful. I'm gonna redo mine.
Yes, every once in a while they do need to be freshened up. But we do this with Christmas wreaths. We do it with fall wreaths. We do it with, I think that's so much better. Yep, that's better. But we're happy to freshen up wreaths of any type. And we offer that as one of our services. If you have a wreath that needs some new, some love and some new blooms, we are so happy to freshen it up for you. But there it is. It's finished. We're going to call it finished. And if she comes in, we will ask her if we need to change anything. We're always so willing to change anything. I don't get my feelings hurt. If you don't like it, it's yours. We need to make sure you do like it, and so that's kind of how I look at things.
Miss Pam says, beautiful, sweet lady. I enjoy watching you.
Thank you, Miss Pam. Thank you, thank you.
Miss Doris says, oh my, it's a beautiful wreath,
lady. Thank you, friend. Thank you so much.
Miss Stab says, I'd put a buck standing in the center.
That would be perfect. You really could hang just about anything there in the center. If you wanted to. You could add ribbon if you want to. Originally, the wreath did not have ribbon, so that's the reason I chose not to add ribbon, but that's completely your preference. If you want ribbon, we could certainly add it. All right. Are we done?
I think that's about it.
Guys, thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you, thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a heart or a thumbs up. If you have any questions about how we do things here at the Flower Shop, you can always ask. We'd love to answer your questions. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. We will be back soon with a new video.